I'm Robert Scoble, and if you go to conferences like I do, you end up with stacks and stacks of business cards like these. These are actually my business cards that I collected at the TechCrunch Disrupt conference. And when you get home, you have no idea what to do with them other than stick them in a box somewhere. But we're at CardMunch, and they have a better idea of what to do. So who are you?
My name is Bowei. I am the co-founder and CEO of CardMunch. It's funny that you mentioned TechCrunch because that's when we got started last time. It was last year around this time when we had that pile of business card. It was 11 o'clock at night, and we didn't know what to do with it either. But guess what? Now we do.
So what do you do?
Well, we thought, what would be a really, really neat way to help me organize these kind of business cards? Like, it's definitely not in my computer because that's not what I have with me all the time. It's really on my cell phone. I want to have all this information on my cell phone at all time. I don't want to be carrying around a device that I have to feed my card in and attach it to my computer wherever I go. I want to have the scanning right on my iPhone. It's super clear nowadays. You have like a great camera on the iPhone. Why can't you just use that as a scanner?
And I've tried the scanners, and they don't work very reliably either. I've found that I get errors on the cards, and it's slow. You know, plus you have to sit there for an hour while you feed through these cards into a scanner.
Well, you know, unfortunately, that's the problem that we're facing today. And what most of these systems are using is something called OCR, optical character recognition. And frankly, it doesn't work for the application that we're doing right now. Picture this. Imagine you have 90% accurate OCR in the world today, which is already very high. That means for a 10-digit US phone number, you get one wrong digit. And that's just simply not acceptable when it comes to your personal contacts. Yeah. What you really need is something that's 100% accurate, and that's something that's simply not achievable with the technology today. And furthermore, even if you have the perfect OCR system, what do you do with that information? If you look at a phrase, a sentence, like, how do you know if it's a phone number? How do you know if it's a title? How do you know if it's a title, like the name of the company? You don't know. These are actually extremely hard problems to solve.
Because everybody uses a different word to even describe facsimile, right?
Exactly.
Some people call it FAX, some people just put an F.
Or they put an icon, a fax icon. There's no way for a computer to figure that out. It's just way too hard for a computer vision, like a problem right now. So we took a step back and we look at what's available today. And guess what? We think we figure out what to do with this. And the way we're solving it.
So what do you do?
Yeah, good question. The way we're solving this right now is actually with human, because although these are very hard problems for computer to solve, it's very easy for me to say this is the name of the company, this is the name of the this is the title, and this is the fax phone number. And what if we can harness the power of people around the world who are just sitting in their home, not doing much? What if we can harness their power to help us get rid of our business card?
But we know humans aren't perfect either, right? I make an error typing something in. I'm going fast. You know, if I'm hiring people for a low rate, I'm probably getting people who aren't all that English literate. They might make spelling mistakes.
Absolutely. You know, we should hire you because this is the problem that we end up running into. When we first started, we realized that humans are not perfect. And especially because when they're trying to earn money, they try to speed through these things as fast as possible. So there needs to be some sort of quality checking. So one of the really good companies that's doing it is called Crowdflower. They help you solve the problem of quality when it comes to human workers. What we did was we built our own platform and dedicated specifically to solving the problem of business card transcription. And the way we are guaranteeing quality is by having multiple workers all look at your card at the same time. And we only send back the result back to you when we are 100% sure that this is the right answer.
So how does that, so I take a picture with my cell phone of of this, and it automatically sends it to the system.
Well,
and
you send it to us. You send it to us, and we go ahead and distribute it to our worker base.
Okay.
And we pick randomly a few workers to look at your cars like at the same time.
And you're using a Mechanical Turk.
We're using Mechanical
Amazon.
Turk, but we might like branch out to other like platform very quickly. But right now, yes, we're using Mechanical Turk because they have a really big population of workers at the moment.
So you hired on Mechanical Turk a bunch of people to look at these business cards.
Exactly.
Now, how do we know that there's some privacy here, right? Because you're on the other end, somewhere in the world, is somebody looking at my business card and typing it in, right?
You know, that's a great question. And then there are two answers, like a two-part answer to this. So number one, all of your information is anonymized. We never say this is from you. You are just a random number when it comes to us. And when it comes to our worker, what we do is we actually put them through training. And as part of the training, we ask them to sign an NDA form to make sure that they know that these are private information and they should not be sharing these information.
Okay.
So this is how we're dealing with privacy issues.
And then you probably rate each of those workers. So if they break the rules, you probably give them a really bad remark so they won't get hired by other people.
It is just one strike and you're out.
Yeah.
We don't tolerate these like a breach of privacy issue at all. If you do anything wrong, I'm sorry. Like we have to respect our customers because they're very, very important to us. We need to do what's right. So we make it very clear to them. We're very fair, but at the same time, if you do something that put us in a position to compromise our customers' privacy, I'm sorry, that we have to ban you.
Now, this is a different methodology. I've used Clear Contacts, and other people have used Shoeboxed and other systems where you just gather all these cards in and ship them off, and somebody does the scanning and the transcription somewhere else. When somebody, now with an iPhone, when somebody hands you a business card, you can just take a picture of it right there. Can you add some notes to that person? Because if you just handed me this business card, then I could add some notes about what we just talked about.
Well, technically, because we have human labor, whatever you write on the card, you can potentially get onto the phone. You write an extra phone number here. Guess what? We can see that and we can transcribe it just like as if it was printed on the card.
Oh, so you could actually just write a note. We talked about we don't deal or
support like specific notes right now. Like we don't put these kind of like a business deal. But if you write a phone number on there, if you write like a website on there or email address, then yes, we'll support it right now. But moving forward, this is a feature that many people have requested. So I think this is something that we should do, that and Twitter handle. Apparently, Twitter handle is something that everyone put on their business card nowadays.
Oh, absolutely. That's become the new business card, at least in tech conferences. I go to people and ask them. In fact, I add them right to Twitter right there. What's your Twitter handle? And I'll add you and I'll start following you.
Yep.
And that gives you the ability to direct message me, and now everything you write shows up on my newsfeed. How long does it take to get a card, scan a card and get the contact info back? Because if it happens fast enough, then I can add it. I can see it in the contact list, and I can add a note. Oh, we talked about, potentially being a customer of Rackspace, for instance, and add that right to the contact field.
I think since the start of our conversation, you got this many contacts back.
So about 10 contacts. We just scanned about 10.
We just scanned about 10 contacts about 10 minutes ago, and we got most of these back already.
Okay. So it takes a very short time. So as I'm walking around meeting people, I can take a picture of the card. It sends off. It'll come back within an hour.
Definitely within an hour.
And then I can add contact info right there.
Yeah.
Now, what happens to that contact once it comes back to my phone?
Very interesting question. So one of our biggest complaints when we were doing all the beta testing is that you get all these business cards, like thousands of business cards, and it shows up next to your mom and pops. And that's really annoying because sometimes when I try to get something in my personal address book, I can't find them because it's tainted by all these cards.
Yeah.
So wouldn't it be great if you can have a separate address book just for your business cards? These are people that you want to have their contact information, but you don't want to have it in your personal address book.
Right.
So that's exactly what we did.
Okay.
We spent a good amount of time to rebuild the entire iPhone address book framework so that we can have a separate address book on the iPhone. So when the card comes in, it goes to the CardMunch address book first by default.
Okay.
And for you to turn it and change it into another address book, all you have to do is just tap this button, and now it is in my personal address book.
So I moved it over to the iPhone's actual contact list.
Exactly.
Which on my iPhone, I've synced it up with Google Contacts.
And
so now it'll move it over to Google Contacts. And it'll show up on Gmail and show up on
everywhere.
Everywhere, right?
And there's also a setting where you can, by default, move all these directly into your iPhone address book anytime you get it.
Now, are you supporting only iPhone right now? Or are you thinking of other platforms?
Definitely. We're working on both like BlackBerry and Android right now, but like you said, Windows 7 is a next hot thing, so maybe we'll look at that as well.
Okay.
But it's all depending on how much time we have and how much pressure we have to get our core product ready. And we think there are a few features that we really want to push out on the iPhone platform first before we focus too much time on the other platform, because we want to be the best, the very best on one platform and then branch out and to be the best on the other platforms. We don't want to dilute ourselves early on, because I think the user experience at the end is going to really drive the usage of this product.
Now your camera app is pretty unique. It has a blue box around it, and so when it automatically takes a picture of the card when you get it to the right angle and the right size, right? It senses that it's looking at a business card and won't take a picture until you get it right.
So this is what happens when you put a couple engineering students on the side and say, hey, what can you do that's going to wow people? I say, okay. So have you played with an application called Red Laser?
Yes.
So they used to be a very good friend. We used to work together. My old company is called Snapchat Labs. We used to work together. And they had this really cool technology where you can just put the barcode in there and it just automatically scans. And that was the best user experience that we've seen on the iPhone. And we want to mimic that. So we wanted to find a way to just put your business card inside of the blue box, and we'll automatically detect it and capture it. And the technology is actually fairly simple. We use a version of the face recognition code using OpenCV. It's like an open framework, and we adapted it to recognize business cards.
Now, if you look at my pile of business cards, there's a lot of dark ones, a lot of weird colors, a lot of sometimes even weird shapes. I've had round business cards, and I mean, look at this one, a plastic really business card. Can you scan all sorts of weird stuff like that?
Yes, we can scan all sorts of stuff.
Because this was the problem with that USB scanner.
Oh, you can't put it in.
You can't put hard stuff through the scanner, so now you have to enter one manually. It's a real pain in the butt. Yeah.
So yeah, we can definitely scan all of these, and we know that our technology is not perfect. So we have a manual override mode, so that if you can't recognize it automatically, you just tap on the screen and it captures the card for you.
Now, how much does this cost?
Right now, we're charging 25 cents per card.
And is the app free to download?
Yeah, the app is free to download. You can play around with it. It comes with 5 free credits. But if you run out of, you can go ahead and buy more credits on our website or in the application.
Okay. And tell me just real briefly before we end, what's the fundamentals of this business? How are you guys funded, and what's growth like and stuff like that?
So we are initially funded by K9 Ventures just to get us started. We are looking for another round of seed funding just at this moment. And we have a team of 3 engineers right now, and we look forward to growing the team very quickly in the future.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for helping me with my business cards. So.
You're very welcome.
It's great.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you.